Hello, and welcome back to the Conscious Contact podcast. I know it has been a while. However, I'm recording this on Halloween. So, first off, happy belated Halloween because this will go up the Sunday following Halloween. So the theme of this episode for me is broadly going to be consistency, or the lack thereof, as you might have noticed. So, October was crazy. Absolutely crazy. All good things, all fantastic trips, seeing friends, going to weddings. I mean, it was absolutely lovely, but it was a lot. And I am a creature of habit. I am a type A personality. I like routine, I like structure, and I have control issues, which brings me to the second part of this episode. What the theme is going to be is, again, control or the lack thereof. So, I've got two very large, I call them character defects that pop up a lot. So one is selfishness and self-centeredness, and the other one is control. So my control is kind of like a sidearm of my selfishness and self-centeredness. It is how I previously in my life would have protected myself, would have been me trying to control everything. And I say trying because I don't think I ever was truly able to control things. I don't think that's something that I, as a human being, can do, but I can enact that upon other people and their actions and try to control them and what they are doing, which is a nasty habit that has been brought to my attention by my partner very lovingly. And he's not wrong. I am 6 years sober, and this is one of those areas that I still have so much work to do on. A little bit of me doing the work and a whole lot of giving it up to God and asking for that character defect to be removed. So I'm not going to go too far into the weeds on what that entails. I am a member of a 12-step program, and I work that program on my character defects through working steps 6 and 7. If you are in the program, you'll know what that means. And if you are not, hey, awesome. If you think you might need to be, I will put a link down below for all the information on my particular 12-step program that I use in my recovery from alcoholism. So I have a lot of that work to be done, which I've talked to my sponsor about, and is something that requires consistency for it to work. October has been crazy. I've already said that. So not a lot of work was done on that this month because of that. It was really hard for me to fit in like my morning routine, which is where I do a lot of my work in the program as well as just in general on myself. And it's obviously something that was kind of out of my control, but also I could have managed my time better. I could have gotten up a little bit earlier. I've also been struggling with like pre-Halloween depression. I know that sounds really odd, but I love Halloween. I love the entire month of October. But I knew going into this particular October, I was going to be out of town a lot. And I knew that that meant I wasn't really going to get to celebrate the way that I normally like to. I wasn't going to be decorating the normal way that I do for a multitude of reasons. Half of it is the moving piece. Half of it is half of my Halloween decorations are already at the new house in a storage building. And the month's just been so crazy. I haven't been able to go get them. And the other part is I think I do have I struggle with cyclical depression, and I think that I've been having a very large chunk, a very large cycle of the depression part and not the up part recently. And again, don't worry for me. I'm doing all the right things. I'm talking to all the right people, but I think that played into it a lot, and I think that blocks me from not only having consistency and not only being able to make a routine, but I think it also blocks me from taking correct care of myself a lot of the time too. I start to deprioritize the things that I know are going to make me feel better about myself because for whatever reason, part of my depression plays out into kind of like a pity party, just, you don't deserve this, you don't need this, who cares? It's kind of like a big who cares, honestly. And I think that that's part of the reason why I have felt kind of funky this October. But that is kind of long story short of why you haven't seen a podcast video in a little while since my interview with the chef at Yokai, which was, I absolutely loved that podcast. Ate at Yokai recently, can confirm, fantastic. My personal favorite was the pandan, and I hope that I'm saying that right. If not, it's the only donuts on the menu, so you'll figure it out. The pandan donuts, wow. Wow. Been craving them ever since we ate them, to be honest. They're the perfect mix of sweet and savory and coconutty, and just, if you're in Greensboro, please go check them out. And I have been, waiting to film a solo episode, because that's kind of how I've been doing, is episode with a guest, solo, episode with a guest. And I just haven't been inspired. I haven't really felt like talking about anything. I think because I've been doing a lot of processing of my own internal turmoil. I think that's probably why, if I'm being 100% honest. So I wanted to come on here and say hello, and an extra special hello to those of you that have been struggling this October as well. And I wanted to talk about how I'm trying to bring consistency back into my life going into November, because today is the 31st of October. It makes me very sad to see it go, but I'm ready for some routine. So first thing is getting back into a regular exercise schedule. And what I mean by that for myself is 3 days a week of some kind of weightlifting activity, because that's what makes me feel good. I like to feel strong, and cardio is just not my jam. So 3 days a week of that, and then walking outside my little 3-mile loop as frequently as possible. So if the weather permits, I'm not holding myself to a certain amount of days with that. Just being able to get outside consistently for about that hour. It takes me about an hour to do that, and really be in this weather, because man, fall is upon us. The temperatures just dropped here in North Carolina today. I just got back from Wintergreen, Virginia, where I had the absolute honor of officiating two of my friends' wedding to each other, and it was absolutely beautiful. If you've not seen the pictures that I put up of that, or that Luke put up of that, please go down below and click on Instagram links, because it was unbelievable. It's like, is this real life type of situation? They had the most perfect venue with the most perfect weather. And it was such a joy to be able to be there. Anyway, getting way off track. Fall is here, and I've had all the fall feelings for the first time this month, this past weekend, and then Monday and Tuesday of this week. So that feels really good to finally be leaning into that, to finally know that I'm going to get to put away my summer dresses, because before I left for that wedding, it was like 86 here still, and I was sweating. I don't want that. I don't need that. Summer is over. Let's have a little bit of fall before we get into winter, please. All the leaves have finally started to come down and change here, and I'm really looking forward to that season. I'm definitely like a cold-natured person. I'm cold all the time, but I absolutely love cozy weather. Like, give me any reason to layer up or put on multiple like sweater jacket type situations. Absolutely love it. So I want to get out in it so that it does not pass me by while I am sitting inside. The other bit of consistency is I want to get back into the routine of making the food that I eat every day. So what the hell do I mean by that? We've been in and out of town a lot. So we have eaten a lot of restaurant food. And then because of like the social element of it, I have been really just burnt out being around human beings. So when I have gotten home, there's been a lot of nights where I've ordered takeout rather than cook, and that doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't make my stomach feel very good, and it doesn't make me as a human being who enjoys the actual process of taking care of myself and my partner with food doesn't make that feel good either. And quick plug, I just finished reading the book Ultra Processed People. I am not going to be able to pronounce the author's name, but if you just search that, it will come up. And if you want to change your entire life, read that book. And if you don't, then don't read that book. Wow, it definitely had me take a harder look at how I am consuming and why I crave what I crave and the issues behind that. And it was really freeing and chiding at the same time. I don't know if that makes any, well, if you've read the book, you'll know why that makes sense, but it was very comforting to know that my desire for processed food and my binge eating is not simply a failure of will, but it is also marketing tactics and inherently the way the food is made to be addictive. So I recommend if you want to take that journey and you are able to, fantastic book. I don't even know where I was going with that. Anyway, focusing on my food more, what I am cooking, wanting to cook more from home, carrying on the thoughts from previous episodes about trying to buy local and cook seasonally. And what a great time to cook right now. I am making soups for the next couple of days because I don't know if you can hear it in my voice or not. I think I'm either having seasonal allergies or I've caught a bit of a cold or sinus infection with all this traveling, and all I want is soup. All I want is liquid. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it. So I pulled out all of my fall soup recipes, and I'm going to slowly but surely go through all of those along with some awesome sourdough bread and taking my probiotics to get my gut back in check. That really helps me with my mental health as well as just like my emotional health. You know, when my stomach doesn't feel good, nothing's going to feel good. So getting back into a routine with that and not having, you know, random strange food all the time, I think will be fantastic. Consistency with this podcast, hopefully. Again, I try not to hold myself to too harsh of a standard, but I didn't, you know, I kind of toyed with the idea of stopping the podcast. I had talked to Luke about it, and, you know, I really want to focus on making content for the other channel that he and I have together as well. Not only because it's a joint venture and I've been largely absent other than when I'm with him and he's filming, but because that is like a whole part of my life that you're not going to be able to see on this podcast. So I am hoping, and again, haven't done it yet, so we'll see, but I'm hoping to put in more vlog style elements into that channel, Acme Acres, and kind of show you what I do in a day, which is not very interesting, but I like watching that type of content. I like watching people get up in the morning, making their coffee, showing what's going on in their day, the mundane of it all. It is really relaxing to me. So because I know I consume that content, I hope that you might enjoy consuming it as well. If that's not your cup of tea, completely understand. But I want to see how it feels, you know, see what that is like and be a contributing piece to the channel that I am a partner in. So look for more of that as well. I know I'm like putting like a big hefty list together here, but again, like I'm a type A personality and I like to be motivated by pressure, basically. So the more that I put on my plate, the better it is for me and the more likely I am to do it. I've also got some handicraft Christmas presents to make. So I've got to get working on that because it is about to be November. So that gives me 2 months to get this taken care of, a little less than 2 months. But I'm really looking forward to that because they're really cute. And yeah, looking forward to that season, starting to plan out Thanksgiving, trying to pick. I normally try to spend every other Thanksgiving. So like one Thanksgiving with my family, one Thanksgiving with Luke's, and going back and forth. When our house is done, I'm probably going to be spending most Thanksgivings there and having my side of the family who would like to come to join me at our place instead. So thinking about new traditions and what I want that to look like, and yeah, just a lot of planning, a lot of making final decisions with the house that we're building and, hopefully seeing that come to fruition sometime early in the new year, please. And yeah, so all of that to say, that's my plans for consistency. But my other plan is to let go of those plans if they don't work out. My control problem is really good at popping up when I don't feel my best. So it's been popping up a lot recently, and it will probably continue to pop up, especially when I'm trying to get back into a routine and I'm kind of fighting against the things that knock me out of that routine. So I'm going to be focusing on letting whatever will be type of thing. Not trying to control other people's actions or reactions, which is much harder than it sounds. And taking that time with God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, in the morning, and really setting that intention for the day and asking for that control element to be removed. I got to do the footwork, but then, especially with control issues, I can only do so much, and then the rest of it is really letting go, and asking to have the peace to be okay with that. So, I wanted to just make this podcast to let you guys know where I am at, and to also reconnect with you and see where you are at in this fall season. How was your Halloween? Mine has been spent on the couch with tissues and horror movies, but I did just make a pumpkin roll. So once that has chilled for about another hour or so, I will be diving into that and having some soup. Very, very excited. I think I'm about to watch either The Nightmare Before Christmas, or I was trying to figure out what was the other one I was thinking about watching last night, 13 Ghosts. I know a lot of people do not like that movie, and it is not reviewed very well, but I love it. I think I just do, and it just does something for me nostalgically, as well as I watched Urban Legend last night. That was one of the first horror movies to ever give me nightmares. Still super nostalgic. It's so late 90s, early 2000s. It's the music, the soundtrack in that movie is great. The twist is fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah. So let me know how your Halloween was. Did you dress up as anything exciting? I dressed up as a burnt out human being. That's my excuse for this year. And let me know what you are working on in this transitional season. I feel like spring and fall is where I really start to notice those opportunities to work on myself. So, like spring cleaning, I do fall cleaning too. I just went through all my clothes. I'm going to take those to a charity shop. And yeah, just a lot of unearthing, that peeling, that next layer of the onion. It's just time for me to grow again. It's time for me to improve myself, and I'm lucky that I have that capability. I'm lucky that I have the willingness to do that. And the only reason that I'm willing is because I know how much pain I will be in if I do not grow. And let my lesson that I've had to learn be a lesson for you. Let me prevent you from having to go down that path. If you're feeling that push, if you're feeling antsy, if you're feeling that crawling under your skin feeling, search out something to expand your horizons. No, I don't care what it is. I just think that for me lets me know I've got some room to move, shift in a direction one way or the other. So yeah, let me know how you're doing. I have missed you. There will be a podcast next week with my good friend Jenny Kaiser. Her work in the film and television industry is so interesting, and she just recently released a Holocaust documentary on PBS, and it is absolutely fantastic. It went along with the unveiling of a memorial in Greensboro that I got the privilege to go to, so be on the lookout for that. That conversation is fantastic. And yeah, I hope that you guys can hold me to this consistency. And I hope that it helps you to cultivate some kind of routine for yourself, whether it is super stringent and you're a type A person that loves that and likes to plan out every minute, or if you're a loosey-goosey person and you just make a list of stuff that you want to get done this week. I think that it's helpful in this time of change and uncertainty to be able to do that. And please get outside. Enjoy this weather wherever you are. I know it's not fall everywhere right now, but just touch some grass. Like ground yourself back to the earth. There's a lot going on in the world, and I think it's really important to feel how small we are, and to be humbled by that. But also for me, it strengthens how I feel that, I'm not the most important thing in the world. And these feelings are feelings and they're valid, but they will pass and they are not facts. So I hope that helps you too. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.